Hello, this is Chanel. Today you'll watch Swan Star episode 128, part 2. Amongst the discussions of the universe level soldiers, 100 of the winners were proudly chosen to enter the Virtual Universe Network. Virtual Universe, Ganwu continent, on one of the floating islands. The main construct of the entire floating island was that enormous auction hall. At this time, under orders, human silhouettes began appearing there, swiftly dispersing and stationing throughout the important locations of the island. Among the total of over 1,000 people, even the service staff were all at least universe level. Carter, I heard these guests are mostly sector lords. Over 1 million sector lords. I've never seen so many sector lords together in my life. 2 male staff members dressed in service uniforms stood beside a small bridge, discussing in hushed voices and suppressing their excitement. Universe level warriors. Even though they could be considered tyrants and kings in several galaxies, when compared within the entire star field, their position was still very low. And in the vastness of the universe country, they didn't amount to anything. Just the Ganwu universe country alone, with over 100 million galaxies, there were over 1 million sector lords. Just how many organizations were there? Under the large amount of sector lords' tutelage, the percentage of universe levels had grown much more. Luo Feng followed the directions of the staff member and quickly reached the teleportation spot. Most of the guests here are sector lords. Even though it's within the virtual universe, with their gaze that's infused with their willpower, they are still terrifying. These staff members have to be at least at the universe level, or else they'll lose their composure. Barbata said, I didn't feel that terrified. Luo Feng said, first of all, your willpower is quite strong and your golden horned beast body is at universe level 6. Second, those sector lords will look at you as their equal. After all, in the universe, there are 2 types of people that are never to be offended. One is an absolute warrior and the other is those with huge background. Barbata said, and those who are weak, but still come here as guests, usually are people with huge backgrounds. Luo Feng nodded. Without background and acquiring the treasures, one wouldn't have a path to sell them. Sir, we welcome and thank you for attending this time's auction. We also thank you for your support. An incomparably beautiful young lady with reddish-brown hair smiled. That smile had within it a peculiar mesmerizing ability. Under the gentle sound of her voice, Luo Feng stepped into the teleportation spot, and during the time, he turned to glance at the floating island. On the island were extremely courteous and respectful universe-level staff members, along with many sector lords and undying. Coming here really does make one feel nervous. Luo Feng smiled and shook his head. His silhouette vanished. To Luo Feng, joining this great gathering of the Ganwu universe country, the Ganwu auction, it felt very much like a dream. And within the dream, those treasures and their worth were each comparable to a galaxy at least. Now, awakening from the dream, Luo Feng returned to his home, the Black Dragon Mountain star field within the Ganwu universe country, the Milky Way, within which was the little and unnoticeable plain Earth. 15 days after the Ganwu auction ended, Luo Feng bruffed Di Fan in a universe ship and headed towards Bailan Star. Bailan Star's every peak was covered with snow. Luo Feng walked ahead while Di Fan followed behind him. They were walking towards the beautiful ship while stepping on the snow. It was a ship belonging to the Virtual Universe Company. Guest identity confirmed, we can begin the exchange. Within the ship's control room, a large box was placed there. I've spent close to 10 galaxies worth of wealth to buy these treasures. Luo Feng sighed. Beside him Di Fan smiled. The more you invest, the more your returns. Master spent so much wealth this time. I believe he will get 100 to 1,000 times more in the future. Ha ha. Luo Feng laughed as he walked boldly forward, opening the box. Pa. The first box was opened. Within it were several translucent boxes. Every box had tender and lovely fruits with dewdrops on them, which was the swelling water fruit. Even though it wasn't one that could save a life, the swelling water fruit was still worth a few thousands of life planets. The second box was opened. Within it was a large number of translucent boxes, and within them were more swelling water fruits. Pa. The third box was opened. Luo Feng's eyes lit up. What lay within it was a peculiar dark golden long rod, one of the 9 godly weapons for the spirit reader controller, the Narration armament. Luo Feng squatted down and extended his hand to touch that dark golden long rod. Feeling its extreme cold, his heart was filled with anticipation. This Narration armament will accompany him for the next 1,000 to 10,000 years, Pa. Luo Feng turned around to open the last box. Within it was the dark golden peculiar partial piece of skin that had peculiar engravings on it, the second clone. Luo Feng's eyes lit up, his heart burning with excitement. In the universe, even though hard work and comprehension was important, talent and resources too were just as important. One who was incomparably hardworking, with high comprehension, may be powerful within a galaxy. However, those with talent, back support, with wealthy resources, putting in the same amount of hard work and with comprehension, will definitely accomplish more. My aim is to become an absolute warrior, one even amongst the undying, one that surpasses even my old teacher. This foundation, naturally the stronger it is the better. Luo Feng's gaze burned. This partial piece of skin was going to be the conduit for his second clone. Once his second clone was formed, the golden horned beast could then focus on training the golden universe laws while the second clone could strive for the space laws. Luo Feng's human body could then focus on the Nanshan armament skills. With the three combined, his accomplishments wouldn't have a limit. Earth, Asia, Hongning Base, third brother, why have you come here? Hong was still dressed in all black. Big brother, didn't you ask me to get you a live fruit the last time? Luo Feng sat before Hong, picking up a cup of tea, his eyes gleaming as he drank. Oh, good tea, live fruit. Hong seemed anxious with anticipation. Back then he witnessed for himself how Luo Feng's cloud contact vine had grown immensely in strength after eating a live fruit. I didn't get to buy a live fruit. However, I bought 100 swelling water fruits. Luo Feng explained, this swelling water fruit has medicinal properties, which are more gentle, and your cloud contact vine will definitely absorb it well. These 100 fruits, use one every 10 days for the next 3 years. Once you finish all 100 fruits, I guarantee that your cloud contact vine will be able to reach universe level 3 or 4. Oh. Hong seemed delighted and surprised. His cloud contact vine, first off, was weaker than Luo Feng's. Even Luo Feng's cloud contact vine only became universe level 2 after eating the live fruit. Big brother, the main thing is when I went to participate in this time's auction, I had to spend quite a bit on a spirit weapon. Hence, I didn't have enough to get a live fruit. Luo Feng apologized, of course, in terms of nurturing. These 100 swelling water fruits added together do not pale in comparison to one live fruit. Ha ha, all right, I understand. Hong laughed, we are brothers, there's no need for so much talk. Luo Feng laughed too. With a wave of his hand, he took out a box and placed it directly on the table before them. Pa. The box was opened and in it were 100 swelling water fruits. Looks very peculiar, they indeed are treasured fruits of the universe. Hong's eyes gleamed, without a doubt. The price of these 100 swelling water fruits is comparable to an entire galaxy. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows, curious, right? Why haven't I seen second brother around recently, Thunder God? Ever since he acquired the inheritance of Sector Lord Kabu, these past 2 years he's been training under that Lord Wu. Hong smiled, his strength has been growing quite quickly. Luckily, the training you've given me from the Yunmo planet has been fruitful, and I've made some breakthroughs, otherwise I would have been surpassed already. Luo Feng realized that the fighter training and techniques from the Yunmo planet weren't weak at all. One had to know that the Yunmo planet master had 9 great undying underlings, and a big half of them were fighters. Undying fighter techniques, how could they be weak? The only difference was that the Thunder God had the living AI Lord Wu's guidance, along with maybe some treasures and assistance. And Hong could only rely on his own comprehension and skills. Mosha clan, they weren't of flesh and blood. The rules for nurturing a flesh and blood body didn't apply here. As an energy life form, as long as the internal world was able to nurture the life crystal core, it would automatically unleash the energy and form its body. And as a special feature of the energy life forms, it could not only take human form, but also other forms and able to transform to almost anything easily. All it takes is to nurture the life crystal core. This Mosha clan is indeed special. Luo Feng thought. The natural talent cloning, the moment it began, Luo Feng didn't need to think twice about it. He only had to wait patiently. The 12th lunar month, Chinese New Year came around quickly. The entirety of China was engaged in ceremonies. Even during the Great Nirvana, with constant attacks by beasts, the citizens of China never forgot their most important celebrations, Chinese New Year. Luo Feng too had to stop reluctantly from his training and spend a few days with his family. On the 9th day, early morning. Outside of the Jiangnan base, in the wilderness region, there were dilapidated and broken cities. Within a city which had been deserted for over 10 years, there was one skyscraper which was 28 levels high. On one of its loft, with a glimmer of light, a human silhouette appeared. Dressed in dark red armor, feet in boots and carrying a peculiar dark golden long rod. This dark golden long rod was over 2 m long and was quite wide, to the point that 2 hands could barely grab it. With a diameter of about 15 centimeters. The entire rod gave off an aura that made hearts palpitate. The aura it gave off occasionally caused the surrounding concrete cities large amounts of beasts to steer clear of Luo Feng. No beast dared to approach him. Wearing this Nanshan armament feels like carrying a mountain. Luo Feng could feel the pressure from the Nanshan armament he carried. Normal level 1, 2 or 3 spirit weapons were fairly simple to use. However, higher level weapons were different. For example, unleashing the strength of a level 5 weapon required one to first nurture it mentally and spiritually, leaving an imprint on the weapon itself, treat it well and nurture it. Once it's complete, the Nanshan armament will treat you as its master. Then you can begin your training. Barbata said, understood. Luo Feng was worried about the armament's aura affecting his family during the nurturing. Hence, he specially chose to head towards the wilderness region, the Nanshan armament's 9 levels of amplification. Luo Feng sat cross-legged, placing the long golden rod on his lap. According to my level, I should be able to finish the first level. The Nanshan armament was divided into 9 levels, with each having more immense power than the previous. With the reputation being the strongest and also the weakest of the godly weapons, if one wasn't a true genius, he would be better off using normal spirit weapons. The first level, named. The second level, named the sky-piercing form. The third level, named the heavenly blade form. The fourth, skill time. The fifth, space slice. The sixth, own world. The seventh, one rod to tremor the earth and skies. The eighth, gold blade slicing through the void. The ninth, even undying isn't a foe. When Luo Feng found out the names of the 9 levels, especially the 9th form, even undying isn't a foe, he was greatly excited. Because, whether it was the inheritance memories of the golden horned beast, or the knowledge that Barbata had imparted, from Sector Lord to undying, this was an incredibly huge breakthrough, one that would completely alter one's soul and spirit. The true supremely qualitative breakthrough. Undying could easily destroy the pinnacle of Sector Lords. Even the Sector Lord Pinnacle Golden Horned Beast, against an undying, had to lower its head. However, this 9th form actually says even an undying isn't a foe, it was simply divine, get lost. The 9th Prince Bu Luo Lin ordered. Lately, Bu Luo Lin had been in an extremely bad mood. Since the world within a world incident, his grandfather Hargrave was the biggest loser of all. Not only did he not acquire the inheritance crystal ball, he lost almost all of his fortune. Also, he had offended many of the sector lords within the Black Dragon Mountain. One must know that back in the world within a world, Bu Luo Lin commanded over 220,000 troops. Just where did these troops come from? The main thing was there was a group of sector lords that supported Hargrave from within the Black Dragon Mountain sacred land. They handed their troops over to Bu Luo Lin to command and decided to support him unconditionally. All they decided on were promises, which both Hargrave and the 9th Prince have not been able to keep. The 9th Prince had even given treasures like the D6 railguns to his grandfather to settle with those sector lords. However, there were over 10 of them back then. The treasures the 9th Prince had acquired was simply not enough. And with Hargrave himself being close to bankrupt, his mood was definitely not good from the beginning. As these sector lords still chased him about the promise from before, he raged and his mood got even worse. Eventually, Hargrave lost his power within the sacred land. Hargrave himself didn't care much for the power and authority. As a sector lord, his own power was the most important. However, Losing his power within the Black Dragon Mountain's sacred land had negatively affected the ninth prince's position. Bu Luo Lin gritted his teeth. Both big brother and third brother want to fight with me for the throne. Thinking about the entire incident before, Bu Luo Lin grew even more enraged. On the peak of a mountain that reached as high as the clouds, a ripple appeared and a human silhouette appeared through it. Your Majesty Brolin, why have you come to the sacred land? A low voice resounded. A winged, skinny man with an aura that made one's heart palpitate immediately appeared on the peak, his green eyes staring at Brolin. Brolin was immediately shocked and said, I have matters I need to discuss with my grandfather, allow him in. A voice resounded across 1,000,000 kilometers within the mountain peaks. The man with the wings looked at Brolin and said coldly, remember, head directly to Lord Hargrave. Everywhere else is forbidden to you. Yes. Brolin was very respectful. Sacred Land Black Dragon Mountain was the biggest backing behind the Empire royalty. The founding emperor of the Empire was currently the godly master of the Sacred Land Black Dragon Mountain. It was he who fused his internal world with the universe space into one, forming the mighty vast God Country. Sacred Land Black Dragon Mountain, God Country. Brolin flew out from the peak, looking at the grand sun which hung above the vast skies and earth with endless oceans stretching out before him. That was something an undying brought from the external world into this God world. A real star. Tearing space, creating worlds and picking out stars. That was an undying, the sacred land. It's even bigger than the imperial planet outside by many times. Brolin looked towards the star in the sky as he flew. To put a star in here, an undying is seriously powerful. If one day I am able to become an undying, as he thought, he began to shake his head and force a smile. Undying, even the thought of becoming one seemed too far away. The entire Black Dragon Mountain star field has less than 100 sector lords. The chances for these close to 100 sector lords to break through and become an undying was simply too difficult. It seemed like they were all destined to die from old age instead. After all, there was a limit to a sector lord's lifespan. An undying, on the other hand, was the only eternal existence, who? Brolin's thoughts moved, releasing a universe ship from his storage ring. Grandfather. Brolin quickly flew over. Hargrave looked at Brolin. A rare smile appeared on his face. RBU, why have you come here? Grandfather, my recent days have been hard. Brolin gave a helpless expression. I understand. Hargrave saw the look on his grandson, feeling guilty within. The world within a world incident, his grandson had performed extremely well. However, because of the inheritance crystal ball deception, they ended up this way. And the treasures his grandson had acquired were all passed on to his own hands. Grandfather, doing anything within the imperial planet requires money. Brolin said helplessly. I know now that there was a star-level punk in the world within a world that acquired many treasures. However, I'm unable to use the Empire's information system or news to search for him. It's frustrating knowing there are treasures, but not being able to acquire them. Hargrave's eyes gleamed. Are you sure? Very sure. Brolin nodded. First, I'm sure he managed to exchange for treasure within the castle. Second, he had a storage ring with a universe ship in it. Third, he survived a hit from the C2 laser gun. What's his name? What news do you have? Hargrave quickly asked. The world within a world incident had left Hargrave close to broke. Normal sector lords had about 10 mixed elements worth of wealth. However, at the moment, Hargrave currently couldn't even take out one mixed element, his called Luo Feng. In the world within a world, he was using the identity of an underling of the Three Axe Mountains Mingyu to enter the Allied base. Brolin said, however, even as a prince, I don't have much authority to get further information about him. Let me check. Hargrave said directly. Simultaneously, Hargrave sent a thread of his consciousness into the virtual universe network and began giving orders. Princes had little authority. But he, Hargrave, even though he had lost his power, he was still after all one of the top 3 sector lords within the sacred land Black Dragon Mountain. Not only could he use the Empire Citizen Information Cache, he could do special searches through the sacred land Black Dragon Mountain Special Information System. Within a few minutes, he had acquired his answer. Hargrave creased his eyebrows. Have you found something? Brolin anticipated. Right, I've checked. Hargrave creased his eyebrows. Luo Feng is indeed under Mingyu. After the incident in the world within a world, he acquired a 100 planets territory from Mingyu. Also, Mingyu seemed to have acquired a level 5 genetic energy weapon, the air cutter knife, which was transferred over to a general of the Three-Axe Mountain. I estimate that the air cutter knife was the treasure Luo Feng acquired. Luo Feng initially had only one planet called Earth. Heading to Earth is very troublesome. It requires one to travel through a wormhole, and after which close to another 3 years of flying is required to reach Earth. From the Sacred Lands Information Organization, the Peterlee family had found this. They had initially sent a small team over, who spent close to 3 years to reach planet Earth. However, there was actually a Universe Level 9 there stopping their family's little team. This Universe Level 9 also proclaimed that Earth was a part of Three-Axe Mountain territory. Brolin was stunned. He couldn't help but say, Grandfather. Grandfather, you said you are nurturing disciples. Brolin was very shocked. A pinnacle sector lord usually only gives several pointers to his disciples. But, dedicating time to actually train them, he had never heard his grandfather ever mention this before. This was something the Sacred Land assigned me to do. Hargrave sighed. Right now in the vast universe, several universe countries and many god countries and organizations have begun to seriously train their disciples. There are many other independent strong warriors who've begun to seriously train their disciples. After all, time is running out. What? Brolin was suspicious. For the 2 pinnacles of battles, Hargrave reminded. Brolin stared wide-eyed. Grandfather, are you speaking of? He held his breath. The absolute genius fight, or the strong warrior fight? Brolin asked. The genius fight. Hargrave said. Brolin's heartbeat raced. In the vast universe, the strong prey on the weak. And the human race was one of the most elite races amongst all the other races in the vast universe. However, even though they were elite, it didn't mean that they would always stay on top. Hence humans too had to work hard and nurture their elites. In the universe, humans had 2 ultimate battles that expanded across the vast universe. One of them was the Pinnacle Genius Battle for the humans across the universe. The other was the Pinnacle Warriors Battle for the humans across the universe. The Pinnacle Genius Battle was aimed at all the star-level humans in many universe countries. As long as one was a star level, they could participate. The Pinnacle Warrior Battle was aimed at all the universe-level warriors. Any universe-level human could participate. All the great universe countries, with trillions of galaxies and countless star-level humans, they'll battle with extremely fair and strict conditions. To be able to survive and stand out till the end would mean one was an absolute genius in countless galaxies. Hargrave sighed. From the star level, one can begin to see a person's natural talent, comprehension, and their level of genius. Taking all the universe countries into account, I wonder if our top genius from the Black Dragon Mountain star field will be able to make it into the top 1 million of the geniuses. Grandfather. Brolin felt a bone-chilling coldness as he yelled. With a thought from Hargrave, the surrounding temperature went back to normal. I was just angry because I felt ashamed. Okay, I still need to raise my disciples. You go back first, said Hargrave. Yes, grandfather. Brolin didn't dare to say more and left right away. His original plan to get his grandfather to send people to deal with Luo Feng seems to have ended in failure. China time, the 9th of March 2066, Black Dragon Mountain Island in the virtual universe. The various continents and islands in the virtual universe also had day and night. There were even virtual stars in the sky. As of now, it was night. There were various lit-up places across the Black Dragon Mountain Island. Places like bars were extremely bright. Everything was normal. Suddenly in the night sky above the Black Dragon Mountain Island appeared an enormous, black declaration that emanated light out of thin air. This completely black declaration had conspicuous white letters glowing on it. Humans of the universe, the top battle of geniuses, once every 10,000 years, is about to be held, sponsored by the Virtual Universe Network Company and all the universe empires. Are you a genius? Can't find an opponent that's on the same level as you? Then join the top battle of geniuses. Here will be where billions of geniuses from all over the universe compete with each other. For details, please visit our Virtual Universe Network's homepage through your virtual assistant. The gigantic declaration that appeared out of nowhere in the night sky was over 1 million kilometers wide and long. Even in the Black Dragon Island where billions of people lived, you can clearly see the declaration if you raise your head. The top battle of geniuses is beginning. Wow, haha, things are going to get crazy. The battle between the billions of geniuses throughout the universe. It's a huge banquet for all of humanity. I heard if you can place in the top 1,000, you'll receive a startling reward. Yeah, this time the Virtual Universe Network company is hosting it, so the rewards must be great. The top battle of geniuses, held twice every 10,000 years. Once by the Virtual Universe Network company, and once by the Battle Axe Coliseum. Hurry and check their website. In the virtual universe, above each continent that represented a universe empire, and each island that represented a medium-level civilization, appeared a gigantic declaration. Each declaration advertised the fact that the humans of the universe, top battle of geniuses, was beginning soon. In just a night, this news spread across all of the empires of humanity. The speed at which the news spread showed how advanced the Virtual Universe Network was. Killing fields. Killing area, you are so stupid. Without me, you were able to attain your own domain. Now that I'm taking all my time to train you, you should be improving even more. A white-bearded old man, that was the size of a fist, was roaring in rage on Thunder God's shoulder. Also, I can't believe you lost to that Hom last time. I'm so embarrassed. Hom doesn't have a teacher while you have me teaching you, and you still lost. I almost won, followed Thunder God. Don't forget, I've never beaten my big brother even once all these years. It's good enough that I almost won last time. What do you mean good enough? You need to aim higher. All right, let me talk to you about your body and blade technique. From today's examination, your technique still has quite a few problems. I saw 9 of them in a glance. First, your blade's movement is part of your body's technique. You just can't get it right. Next, the white-bearded old man pointed out a bunch of errors. Thunder God listened carefully. Only after he finished training did Thunder God leave the killing fields. When he stretched outside the lobby of the killing fields as he prepared to call the sky horses in the sky, he saw the enormous declaration in the sky. Damn. Thunder God widened his eyes. Such a gigantic declaration. Thunder God read the declaration's contents. Top battle of geniuses. Kiddo, you have to participate. Such a rare chance, roared the old man Wu, Big Brother, 30. Thunder God contacted Luo Feng and Hong. Earth, continent of Asia, dawn. On an extremely battered highway, Luo Feng was in a battle robe and had a dark, golden staff on his back. He coldly looked ahead, and with a thought in his heart, he yelled. Suddenly, a flash of golden light shot out of the dark, golden staff on his back. At the same time, a powerful peculiar force merged into the golden light. After that, the golden light stopped in mid-air. The light appeared to be 9 small golden blades that were as thin as a cicada's wings. At this time, the 9 fist-sized golden blades with extremely complicated engravings on them were currently spread out in a row. With the assistance of a concentrated domain, Luo Feng used his powerful conscious to attempt to move those 9 small golden blades. Golden threads were everywhere as they intertwined. In terms of complexity, this was tens of thousands of times more complex than the soaring shuttle. Converge. Luo Feng clenched his teeth. The 9 small golden blades that were connected by the complex golden threads combined in a mysterious matter. Finally, a golden asterisk started to form, peng. The golden asterisk fell apart, and the golden threads snapped. The 9 small golden blades spread out, return. Luo Feng's face was pale as he sighed and shook his head. The 9 small golden blades swiftly returned to the small openings in the dark golden staff on his back. Western Asia, wastelands. A battered beggar was currently sitting cross-legged below a curved tree. However, the monsters that frequently ran past ignored him and didn't even try to eat him. Raw tilde monsters attacked each other and blood was everywhere. However, the beggar still sat silently. With light, there will be light. Without it, darkness, spoke the beggar quietly. The beggar that was sitting there instantly disappeared. His surrounding area suddenly turned into absolute darkness. And right after that, the absolute darkness disappeared, and the beggar appeared once again. Universe. Natural. Our ancestors were so intelligent, but were restricted to their bodies and couldn't dig deeper. The beggar revealed a smile. Last time, I was almost defeated by second brother, and now my domain finally stepped into the 6th stage, second brother again. Does he want to spar? The beggar's battered clothes instantly burned up. At the same time, a new outfit automatically extended across his body. He became a tranquil-looking man right away. It was indeed the big brother of the 3 powerful fighters of Earth, Hong. Luo Feng and Hong both entered the virtual universe network. Thank you for watching.